The Bible indicates that God's law existed and was known before it was formally spoken at Mount Sinai and written on stone in the days of Moses. Exodus 20. Below is a comprehensive list of verses that show knowledge of the principles found in the Ten Commandments prior to Sinai. 1. Before the flood, Adam to Noah. Sin defined as transgression of law. Genesis 2:16-17. God commands Adam not to eat of the tree law given. Disobedience is sin. Genesis 3:11. Hast thou eaten, which I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? Genesis 4-7. Sin lieth at the door. Genesis 6-5. Wickedness of man was great. Genesis 6:11-13. Earth filled with violence, breaking sixth commandment. Genesis 26-5. Abraham obeyed God's commandments, statutes, and laws. 2. Evidence of specific commandments before Sinai. 1. No other God's first commandment. Genesis 4:26. Men began to call on the name of the Lord. Genesis 35:2-4. Jacob tells his household to put away strange gods. No idols, second commandment. Genesis 31-19. 30-35. Rachel steals Laban's idols. Idolatry already known. God's name sacred, third commandment. Genesis 4:26. Genesis 12-8. Genesis 13-4. 4. Sabbath known before Sinai, fourth commandment. Genesis 2:1-3. God blesses and sanctifies the seventh day at creation. Exodus 16:4-5. 23-30. Sabbath observed before arrival at Sinai. 5. Honor parents, fifth commandment. Genesis 9:22-25. Ham dishonors Noah. Genesis 27. Serious consequences surrounding parental blessing. 6. Do not murder, sixth commandment. Genesis 4:8-12. Cain kills Abel. Genesis 9-6. Capital punishment established. 7. Do not commit adultery, seventh commandment. Genesis 12:17-19. Pharaoh punished concerning Sarah. Genesis 22:3-9. God tells Abimelech adultery is sin. Genesis 39:7-9. Joseph, how can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? 8. Do not steal, eighth commandment. Genesis 32:33. Genesis 31 minutes and 30 seconds. Genesis 44-8. 9. Do not bear false witness. Ninth commandment. Genesis 3-4. Serpent lies. Genesis 12:13. Genesis 27-12. 10. Do not covet, 10th commandment. Genesis 3-6. Eve covets the fruit. Genesis 4-5-7. Cain's jealousy. Genesis 37-11. Joseph's brothers envy him. 3. Explicit statement that law existed before Sinai. Key verse. Genesis 26-5. Abraham kept God's charge, commandments, statutes, and laws. This verse alone shows divine law existed centuries before Sinai. For before Sinai, but after Egypt. Pre-Exodus 20. Exodus 15:25-26. God gives statutes and says, if thou wilt diligently hearken. Exodus 16:28. How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Before Sinai. Summary. The Ten Commandments were formally proclaimed and written on stone at Mount Sinai, Exodus 20. But the biblical record clearly shows sin existed before Sinai. Sin is the transgression of law. Specific commandments were known and morally binding from creation onward. Abraham kept God's commandments centuries before Moses.